Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to walk you through the finished product that we'll be building. The course is broken into three main sections: the web application, the secure JSON API with JWT, and the Chrome extension. Let's start with the web app. And here it is. Right now we're looking at the sign-in page. Let's first head over to the registration page and sign up a new user. But before we do that, I want to point out that we have a forgot your password page, and once you log in, you'll also be able to update and change your password from the account dashboard page. So let's go back to the sign up page, and I'm going to create a test user. Test at test.com, and I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then confirm that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's sign up. Okay, great. We see that we're redirected to our dashboard, and you can see we have no entries. Before we get into the entries, let's take a quick look at the account page, and you can access that by going to the drop down up here and clicking the account page. Now, this is pretty standard stuff, just a place to edit account info like email, password, and cancel your account, which will delete all the associated data with that user. Now we can go back to the dashboard. This about page right here is just to demonstrate that we have multiple pages using non-RESTful routes. Now going back to the dashboard again, to add a new entry, we can simply come over to this button here and click on it. Notice managing the entry resource is done as an SPA, meaning a user will never navigate away from this main dashboard page. You can easily cancel by clicking the cancel button. And if we go back and submit an entry with invalid data, we get our validation errors. Notice the URL must be valid here. We're going to create a custom validation for this, where the other three use built-in validations from Active Record. Now I'm going to go ahead and create an entry for GitHub. And for now, we'll just use a placeholder URL. And we'll use placeholder credentials. And let's go ahead and create this. Okay, great. So we see we get a flash message. Our main dashboard updates with the new entry, and we have an appended entry in our sidebar. I want to point out that there's no page refresh happening here. This is all being done in real time with Turbo Streams. Also, I'm going to show you a way to easily grab the favicon of each entry so that we can easily generate these icons in our list. And at this point, you can manage your entry by editing any of these fields. All editing is done inline. So I could update the name here to github.com. by coming here and hitting edit name. And I'm just going to call this .com now, and then hitting this green button and hitting save. You'll see we get our flash message, you see the update here, and you see the update has happened here as well. Again, no page refreshes. This is all happening in real time with Turbo Streams. We also have the ability to update any of these other fields. Clicking on any of these edit icons will open up an input field. And if you decide that you don't want to make the update, you simply click this button here, and it turns it back into a read-only state. And if you do make an update, you'll see that it works the same as it did above in the name field. We have other nice to have features like copy to clipboard. Clicking this button here, you see we get a little visual feedback, and then just to demonstrate that we've copied this value here, I'm going to paste it in the search here. Okay, and so we see GitHub username exclamation point. I'll close that out. Additionally, we have a nice password toggle, so we can click this icon here. Of course, we get some visual feedback to the user, and now we can see the password. Clicking it again will hide it. And we're accomplishing these features using Stimulus.js. Heading back up to the action dropdown, you can easily delete an entry as well. Okay, we get our flash message. We see that we have no entries, and our sidebar is now empty. Now I'm going to sign out, and then sign back into another account that has more entries to demonstrate the search functionality. So coming up here, we can simply sign out. Now I'm going to sign in with an account that has more entries. Okay, again, we see our flash message. We have a list full of entries, and we are starting off with Amazon as our first entry here. To demonstrate the search, I'm going to start by doing a couple different patterns. First, I'm going to start with an OO pattern, which will contain Facebook and Google. So great, we get our list back with two entries that have the matching pattern. Notice that the main entry has not been changed at all. And I'm going to use our clear button here, clear the search, and I'm going to do an exact match using Udemy. So notice that when we get returned one result, we're safely assuming that this is the result that we're looking for, and we auto-load it into the main dashboard here. This will also work on partial matches. So I'm going to clear that out and then do BBB. And great, Dribble matches our partial match, and so that's what is auto-loaded into the dashboard. So that's it for the web application. It's a pretty straightforward application, but really dives deep into Hotwire, database modeling, and other Rails best practices, including validations and active record encryption, and a ton more. The next section is going to be the JSON API secured by JWT. And I'm going to demo this in the Thunder client. We'll be using Thunder client in the course, but you can use Postman or anything else that you'd prefer. So in our VS Code, we're going to start by hitting our auth endpoint, which is located at API v1 auth, making sure that we have a post request. Our JSON body will be a payload of email and password. I'm using the same email and the same password that I used to log into the web application. Let's go ahead and hit send. And you see we get a JSON web token back. I'm going to go ahead and copy this token now. And I'm going to go into a new request that is going to our entries endpoint. Now this will be a GET request. And inside of the headers, our authorization token will be the token that was just returned to us. So now if I hit send, great. You can see we get all of the entries that are associated with user ID 2. So I want to make sure to point out that this is being done in the same application as our web app. I'll give you a quick preview of the code. And in our app controllers, you can see we have an API directory, version 1, and then we have our API related files. And then right below, you can see our web application controllers. So this API is going to be what our Chrome extension consumes. And our Chrome extension is the third and final development section. Let's head over to the Chrome extension management page in the browser. And so here's our extension. You can see it's installed just like any other Chrome extension, and it's enabled so we can see it here in the address bar. So I'm going to go ahead and open it, and you can see we're immediately directed to a sign-in page. I'm first going to enter in some invalid credentials. So I'll just do test at 123.com and then 123 and sign in. And you can see that we get an invalid email or password error. So I'm going to close and then reopen, and I'm going to log in with some valid credentials. I'm going to use the same credentials that I used to log into the web application and that I used to log into the API in Thunder client. So we'll do nmcneely at test.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we see our Chrome extension. Looks very similar to the web application, just on a much smaller scale. Our search works just like it did in the web application. When we get a single result back, we go ahead and auto load that. We also have copy to clipboard, and we have our password toggle. Now, the coolest part about the extension that really sets it apart from the web application is we dig deep into the Chrome extension API that gives us some advanced functionality. These two buttons up here, if I click this button, it's going to take us to the GitHub login page. Great. Now, if I open up the extension again, you can see that we are automatically preloaded into the GitHub entry. And now, the coolest part, I think, is if you click this lightning icon, it autofills the sign-in form for you. Now, these aren't my real GitHub credentials, so I'm not going to submit the form. We'll just see a failed login attempt. So that's it. That's the walkthrough of the course. In my opinion, this course is broken down into logical sections, each building off of the previous one. It's just over 7 hours of recorded content and has a documentation section for deployment. There are a few lessons that run a little closer to 15 to 20 minutes, but for the majority, each lesson is around 5 to 10 minutes, making them easy to digest and rewatch if needed, or to use just as a reference. Thanks for taking a look at the demo, and I hope to see you in the next lesson.